Your one click on the subscribe button makes a huge difference. Thank you for your kind support.
The episode begins with an interaction at Calvin and Marty's automotive business, Fusebox, where they are approached by a seemingly charming man named Grant Yelvington. Grant claims to be part of the mayor's Green Business Initiative Council and showers the shop with compliments, praising their work and even offering recognition through a press release. At first, Calvin and Marty are delighted by the attention. Their pride is apparent, especially when Calvin introduces himself as the proprietor and Marty jumps in to remind everyone that he's a co-owner. The dynamic between father and son is on full display, filled with the usual mix of light-hearted banter and bickering about who does what. Meanwhile, the focus shifts briefly to a key employee, Courtney, who is quick to explain some of the technology in the shop, like the electrical thermal imaging system. It's a subtle moment, but it sets Courtney as the unassuming but sharp member of the team. Calvin, sensing the conversation might be getting too technical, struggles to keep up, leading to some humorous dialogue about delegating. Later, when Calvin, Marty, and Courtney reflect on the encounter, they reveal their suspicions about Grant. Marty checks his LinkedIn and sees a vague, unverified connection request from Grant, which raises a red flag. This moment shifts the tone of the plot as they realize Grant's true intentions might not be as innocent as they initially seemed. Calvin recalls how Grant's questions during his visit focused more on technical details, such as the shop's equipment and systems, rather than its achievements or environmental goals. Marty and Calvin come to the conclusion that Grant might be a spy from a competitor, aiming to learn more about their proprietary systems. Instead of immediately dismissing the situation, Calvin and Marty devise a plan. They decide Courtney should meet with Grant under the guise of discussing a business opportunity to figure out what he is really up to. This decision shows a rare strategic side of Calvin and Marty's relationship, underscoring their willingness to protect their business at all costs. Meanwhile, another storyline unfolds involving Malcolm, Calvin's other son. Malcolm has been part of a creative writing program at USC and is excited about attending a meet and greet with book agents. He sees this event as a critical step toward becoming a published author. Malcolm is particularly enthusiastic about his latest story, which he has named The Devil's Testimony. The family reacts with excitement about Malcolm's ambitions. His stepmother, Gemma, is particularly proud of him, even asking to read his work. However, there's an interesting dynamic here with Dave, who sees himself as a writer as well. Dave's own aspirations and his past self-published works leave him feeling somewhat competitive with Malcolm, though he doesn't admit it outright. Dave reads Malcolm's story and begins to feel uneasy, claiming the story is too derivative and resembles works like Gone Girl. Gemma encourages Dave to simply be supportive of Malcolm's endeavors, but Dave's undercurrent of jealousy reveals an important theme of the episode: personal ambition versus supporting others. When Malcolm goes to the event, he meets with a book agent named Lisa Chatsworth from Vision Literary. Lisa appears charismatic and blunt, but also somewhat dismissive and condescending. She immediately zeroes in on Malcolm as the oldest student in the program, and begins crafting a narrative around him, suggesting he must be a recovering addict or a veteran seeking redemption, ideas Malcolm promptly denies. This interaction between Malcolm and Lisa reflects the real-world challenges of breaking into the publishing industry, where writers often feel pressured to have a hook or marketable backstory rather than solely relying on the merit of their work. Lisa's dismissive demeanor and her focus on Malcolm's perceived personal story rather than his writing adds an extra layer of tension to the scene. The conflict highlights Malcolm's struggle to be taken seriously based only on the quality of his work rather than superficial labels. The parallels between the two plotlines are subtle but significant. At Fusebox, Calvin and Marty worry about an outside force trying to undermine their success through unfair tactics, while Malcolm faces a similar challenge in his creative journey. Both stories explore the idea of defending one's work and fighting against the perception that success can only come with a gimmick or by compromising values. Courtney's role in the Fusebox storyline becomes more critical as she steps up to meet with Grant, showcasing her intelligence and calm demeanor under pressure. This marks a rare opportunity for Courtney to shine and for Calvin to put his trust in her, even though he previously couldn't resist micromanaging. The episode doesn't reveal the full details of Courtney's meeting with Grant but leaves enough breadcrumbs to suggest the mystery around Grant's motives will be explored in future episodes. Back at the writing event, Malcolm's interaction with Lisa takes an interesting turn. Frustrated by her refusal to take him seriously, Malcolm insists that Lisa read his manuscript rather than making snap judgments based on his personality or background. It's a bold move that underscores his belief in his own talent. Malcolm walks away from the meeting with mixed emotions, on one hand, empowered by standing his ground, but on the other hand, uncertain about what Lisa will think of his work. This uncertainty ties directly into Malcolm's larger personal arc, where he struggles to find his identity after leaving behind a career in sports. The episode subtly explores the complexities of starting over and finding passion in a completely new field. The family dinner scene that follows provides a moment of levity, but also continues to peel back the layers of each character's personality. The conversation around food orders serves as a metaphor for the ongoing rivalry and tension between the family members. Calvin's insistence that they should just share everything, but then taking control echoes his earlier behavior in the shop, where he struggled to share the spotlight with both Marty and Courtney. Similarly, Dave's interjections and competitive jabs at Malcolm reveal his insecurities about being overshadowed. It's a small but effective glimpse into how the family dynamics play out during seemingly mundane moments. As the episode nears its ending, the two plotlines converge thematically. At Fuse Box, Calvin and Marty reflect on their encounter with Grant and speculate about whether they were able to outsmart him. Their camaraderie and determination drive home the episode's emphasis on teamwork and trust. Meanwhile, Malcolm receives feedback from Lisa, but the response is left deliberately vague. This unresolved outcome symbolizes the inherent uncertainty of creative pursuits and how success often relies not only on talent but also on resilience and persistence. By leaving both story arcs somewhat open-ended, the episode invites viewers to consider the larger struggles faced by the characters and how their individual journeys are interwoven. The final moments of the episode carry a sense of optimism despite the conflicts faced by the characters. Malcolm's willingness to take a risk with Lisa shows growth in his confidence, while the plan at Fuse Box demonstrates Calvin and Marty's commitment to building on their success through careful planning and collaboration. These themes resonate strongly with the show's overall message of community, perseverance, and the importance of family bonds. While the episode doesn't resolve all its conflicts, it does leave the audience with a sense of anticipation for what's to come next. The title of the episode, "Welcome to the Sting," cleverly ties into both storylines, hinting at deception, determination, and the challenges of navigating competition in both business and personal endeavors. Ultimately, this installment underscores the series' strength in blending humor with heartfelt moments and meaningful commentary.